Hey, today we're gonna talk about a prisoner who got kicked out of 120 prisons for bad behavior. Born Michael Peterson, he grew up in a very supportive family under very acceptable conditions to grow up to be an exemplary citizen of his country. That is the main moral of this story. You don't have to be surrounded by the love and attention of your loved ones from early childhood to turn into a complete psycho. One day anyone can go crazy, not everyone can make it happen. Bronson is learning his story from the beginning. From the scene when Peterson was still a child. He was born into a good family surrounded by love and care. Already at school he noticed a tendency to violence and fame. He repeatedly beat up schoolchildren and teachers, but he got away with it. He later got a job and immediately started stealing from the cash register. When the police came to him, their mother escorted them to their son's room. Peterson was not pleased with the guests and immediately attacked them. In 1974, Peterson was married and together with his wife they raised a child. But that wasn't enough for Michael. They were poor and it made Michael rob the post office. For this robbery, he was given 7 years imprisonment. Mother promised her son that he would be released early, but Michael disagreed with her. In prison Michael behaved badly. He regularly beat guards and prisoners, refused to work and again received from guards. Over time, this gave Michael the glory. Every prisoner knew his name and feared him. One day, while driving a T-cart, Michael meets the future nightclub owner. Due to outbursts and mayhem, Michael was often transferred to other prisons. But in none of them he was not calm. Every time the same thing happened. Michael became famous, the newspapers started writing about him, and the prisoner's dream came true. He became famous. Soon the prisoner's patience ran out and Michael was sent to a psychiatric hospital. The prisoner felt out of place. He was bored, and the constant assembly he was given, he became more calm and waited. There was no pathos or fights. And at the slightest violence, Michael was immobilized and tranquilized. Michael began to plan his escape. Once again, he managed to kill one of the patients with violence. Michael hoped to be returned to the prison from which he was transferred, but instead, he was put in solitary confinement for 26 years without trial. Michael made a mess of things. The warden was forced to declare him sane and to release him because he had almost taken over the entire budget of the prison because of his antics. On the outside, Michael was met by his parents and brought home. The mother gave his son a room, but Michael didn't like it because there were no of his old things. His mother told his son there was no room for old things, but Michael didn't want to listen. He wanted to go back to his hometown and find Uncle Jack. After all, he has great connections and it will help our hero. He was greeted very warmly. Michael was given a drink and promised that everything will be fine. Uncle Jack also told Michael where to find his prison buddy, who had already become a nightclub owner. He offered a job for Michael, in the form of an underground fistfight. Michael only knew how to swing his fists and so he agreed. Next, to turn a fighter had to come up with a brutal alias. After all, the name Michael Peterson is useless. So Charles Bronson was born. Later, Michael moved in with a girl named Ellie. The girl had a boyfriend, but Bronson didn't care. Even when she met Uncle Jack, she ducked him. A buddy at the nightclub used to throw fights for Michael and ask for more spectacular scenes. Bronson wasn't against it, and he was making a mess in the arena. He fought 2 rivals at once, got mad at his rivals and did a lot to remember the audience. Michael once told his girlfriend that he loved her, but she rejected him, saying that she loved someone else. Mike decided he needed a ring and went to the jewelry store. From the underground fighting, Michael had money, but not enough to buy a sleek and expensive ring. Bronson just took the ring and carried it to Ellie.
Вот это? Она стоит 1000 фунтов, сэр. Хорошо.
The girl didn't appreciate the gift and said she was about to marry another man. Michael was back behind bars for robbing a jewelry store. But he was not sad, on the contrary, he was even happy to be in prison again. Because there he is famous. Michael was immediately brought before the warden, who was aware of Michael's antics on the loose and condemned him. He says the prisoner will receive close attention. After all, he spent only 69 days on the outside and was imprisoned again. Time passes and Michael gets bored. One day, a librarian comes to him. Bronson takes the moment and takes him hostage. He himself informs the guards and waits for them. The warden sends a full security detail to the prisoner's cell to get his mind right. Michael wasted no time and prepared to meet the guards. Stripped to a goal, he applied the battle color to himself. It is a fatty ointment, so that it could not be held. The librarian forcibly helps our hero and rubs his back and back. He meets the guards and gets what he wants. A good thrashing. Guards have tempered his passion and he is personally visited by the warden. He warns Bronson that if this happens again he will live in solitary confinement for the rest of his life. This calmed Michael briefly. He was transferred from a solitary cell to a general one and began attending prison creative classes. There he began drawing drawings. They did not look like paintings by famous artists, but they interested the class leader. He noticed it and praised it. One day, the warden showed the warden the drawings and nominated him for parole. But the warden didn't like it, but there was hope. Michael was informed by his supervisor that if he continued to behave calmly, he would be released early. Michael began to do what he had to do, only creatively. By being with a supervisor in class, Michael connected him. And he stripped himself naked again and smeared himself with dark colors and wore goggles. He waited again for the guard. He waited for the guard to turn on the music for him so that he could create. He painted the hostage and painted a couple of dolls. After that he got tired of all this and he let the guards in. The fight was scale. After that, Peterson was confident that he would never be released again. He did. He also had regular fights in prison. Michael became a celebrity under the name Charles Bronson. Charles was incarcerated for 34 years. 30 of them were in solitary confinement. The film is based on real-life events. Charles was voted the most dangerous prisoner in the UK. That's it. Don't forget to subscribe and like. All the best.